Today I fucked up by making a colleague think I'm pregnant. So this has been going on for about 3 months now, and I know I need to fix the situation, but it feels like it's moved past the point of no return, and to be honest I just feel so embarrassed. So for some background, I used to work at the main office for my company in the one town. I met my colleague there. We will just call her Ms. Assumptions. However, Ms. Assumptions left the company to go work somewhere else, and in that time I got engaged and due to a promotion in the company moved to a different branch. At the end of last year, Ms. Assumptions joined our company again, and this whole debacle started when I visited the original branch in March for some training. We were standing talking and I was standing with my hands folded on my stomach. Ms. Assumptions looked in my hand's direction and said she wants to ask me a question, but she's not sure how to ask it, so she'll just ask, "Is her guess correct?" Naive me thinks she means the ring on my hand, and I answer yes. She starts babbling about how exciting it is and how our lives will change blah blah, and I nod along and agree with everything she says. Later the day, as my brain decides to replay all my awkward encounters, it finally dawns on me, oh no, she meant is she correct in guessing I am pregnant? As I'm lying there cringing, all I can think is I'm going back to my town, so hopefully because she won't see me anytime soon again she will forget. Fast forward to April when she phones me to discuss a new project we are working on, and again Ms. Assumptions asks, "So are you ready and excited?" And again naive me thinks she means the project, and I say yes yet again, only for her to start babbling about how exciting it is to expect a baby and realization to dawn on me that I yet again unwittingly confirmed that I am pregnant. Today she phones me and asks me whether baby is doing okay, and I am sitting here in this 3 feet deep grave I've been digging for myself, and all I can do is laugh very nervously and mumble something under my breath. So yeah, this is me sitting here thinking I will have adopt a baby or pretend my niece is my kid or simply just quit my job to get away from this awkward situation I created for myself. I know I should just tell her, but my social anxiety just wins and leaves me absolutely mortified at the thought at telling her I misunderstood and mislead her not once but twice in a row. Viva la dumb ways to die of embarrassment. Too long did not read. Misunderstood my colleague's question and made her think I am pregnant not once but twice in the past 2 months. We are going on month 3 here and I am too embarrassed to correct her. Only way out I can see is to quit my job, JK. No, but seriously. I thought you were asking about my wedding ring and engagement. I didn't realize you were talking about being pregnant until you mentioned a baby. I am not pregnant, but what a funny misunderstanding. At this point, keep it going. Just wait for her to realize that she's been assuming and has never actually asked you. When she finally brings it up, gaslight her $1. Pretend like you have no idea what she's talking about. This is hysterically funny. She had absolutely no business asking in the first place. Serves her right. Only one thing to do, go get pregnant immediately. Forward this post to her. Today I fucked up by accidentally feeding my boss's dog a homemade weed brownie at a work barbecue. So this happened yesterday, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around how absurd the whole situation was. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons. For some context, I, 25M, have been working at this small tech company for about a year. My boss, 48M, decided to throw a company barbecue at his place to celebrate a successful project. He's a pretty chill guy and has a golden retriever named Cooper who's practically the company mascot. Now, my roommate, 24F, loves baking, and she recently made a batch of weed brownies for a party with her friends. She used a new recipe, so there were a few regular brownies left over. She told me I could take them to the barbecue. In my morning rush, I grabbed a container from the fridge and headed to the barbecue. You can probably guess where this is going. Yep, I accidentally took the weed brownies instead of the regular ones. They looked identical, and I had no idea. Fast forward to the barbecue, and everyone's having a great time. I put the container of brownies on the dessert table, and people start digging in. My boss is busy grilling, and Cooper is doing the usual dog thing of begging for food from everyone. One of my coworkers, thinking it's just a regular brownie, decides to give a piece to Cooper. The dog happily scarfs it down. About an hour later, I'm watching Cooper stumbling around the yard, looking like he's having the time of his life. It finally clicks that I must have brought the wrong container, and my heart drops. I rush over to the dessert table and check the container. Sure enough, there's a sticky note on the bottom that says, "Special brownies." Panicking, I grab the container and start discreetly warning my coworkers about the brownies. Some of them had already partaken and were starting to feel the effects. Thankfully, most people found it hilarious and were good sports about it. However, I still had to tell my boss. I sheepishly approached him and explained the situation. He stared at me for what felt like an eternity before bursting into laughter. I couldn't believe it. He was cool about it, and he even thanked me for providing some unexpected entertainment. The barbecue continued, and people took it in stride. Cooper was fine after a while, just really sleepy. My boss even joked that it was the most relaxed he'd ever seen the dog. I'm still mortified, but at least it didn't cost me my job. I'll never live this one down, though. Too long did not read. Accidentally brought weed brownies to a work barbecue, fed them to my coworkers and my boss's dog, leading to a hilarious and absurd series of events. Somehow still employed. You don't give a brownie to a dog even if there is no weed. Chocolate is like poison to pets. The person who gave the dog a brownie is a piece of shit. Chiming in with, who the fuck feeds a dog human chocolate? None of this shit happened. Dude, you are so lucky. Cannabis, edit and OBV chocolate, can kill the dog lol. Today I fucked up by buying a bong and giving myself salmonella. I, 19 female, started smoking a few months ago. While I love being high, I hate smoking a joint because of how hot it is and burns the back of my throat and leaves an awful taste. I tried edible, but I slept for 20 hours straight after only 2 of my 16 brownies I made, so I didn't really want that. Therefore I thought it would be a great idea to buy a bong after talking to a stoner friend. I went out the next day and bought an acrylic bong and decided to use it. It blew my mind as the vapor was basically cold and I could really feel the weed working instantly. I ended up getting much higher than I had ever been before. So I'm watching Hell's Kitchen and Gordon Ramsay is yelling at some guy for overcooking his steak and I'm really getting the munchies. I go to the fridge to look for a protein, but all I have is chicken, so I decided to cook that. When I took out the chicken, it wasn't the shape of a steak, so I battered it with a pan to flatten it. You see, I like my steak medium rare, so when cooking my flattened chicken I only cooked it for 1:30 each side with salt and pepper. Thinking I had made a masterpiece, I cut it up into thickish slices and served it with fries. I don't know if it was just the weed, but this unknowingly raw chicken was the best chicken I've ever had in my life. It was perfectly warm but so juicy. The next day I'm feeling a bit high and can't remember much of what happened last night, but otherwise fine. Then all of a sudden, as I'm watching TV, I get mild stomach cramps, so I wonder what I ate last night and it all comes back to me. I can't believe I tried to cook a chicken like a steak even if it was delicious. I didn't have any major symptoms for the rest of the day, however. In the middle of the night I woke up and realized I had shat the bed. I had changed the bed sheets a few nights earlier, so this was particularly disappointing. I had to replace my Egyptian cotton sheets as they were stained. This was hard to do as I was solidly throwing up for the next 2 days. So I guess the moral of the story is cook your chicken properly. Too long did not read. Bought a bong, got really high, cooked chicken like it was a steak, shat the bed. Eats 2 brownies and falls asleep, blames the brownies. Just eat a smaller dose. Why do people do this with edibles? Only 2 brownies? You ate 2 whole brownies? And that was your first test? I woke up and realized I had shat the bed. I had changed the bed sheets a few nights earlier, so this was particularly disappointing. I am so sorry that I laughed at your pain, but this is a hilarious sentence. What the fuck made you have 2 fucking weed brownies? Yeah, there's mints you can get. Low enough dose to make you high. Not high enough to make you sleep forever. Today I fucked up by taking a multivitamin every day for the past 15 years. I have religiously taken a specific multivitamin every day in the morning right when I wake up for God knows how long. As long as I can remember. At least 15 years, probably more. I also have had terrible GERD and have been on PPIs for fucking years as well. I've tried to stop taking the PPI so many times, tried to replace it with an H2 blocker, nothing has ever worked. As anyone who suffers from it can attest, acid reflux fucking sucks. I took the damn PPIs. I recently stopped taking the multivitamin, completely by accident. I'd been having a sort out, moved them from my dresser to downstairs and basically kept forgetting to take them. Out of sight, out of mind. My GERD is suddenly way better. Weird, I think. I'm not doing a damn thing differently. I even start to think I might have a crack at weaning off the PPI again, it's feeling so much better. I eventually realize the only different thing I'm doing is I'm not taking the multivitamin. Interesting, I think. Surely it can't be the vitamins. Tell me the misery hasn't been caused by the vitamins. I make sure to take it again for the next few days. Bam! Reflux is back with a vengeance. I stopped taking the acid pills, I mean vitamins. My reflux is non-existent. Too long did not read. 15 fucking years of giving myself acid reflux by taking a multivitamin. Stop taking it. Feel better. FFS. You know you're supposed to take a multivitamin with a whole glass of water, right? I get the exact same symptoms as you if I don't chase my vitamin with a good amount of liquid of some kind. Vitamins and supplements can get crazy. I've known of someone to end up in the hospital with severe fatigue and a few other symptoms, only to discover it was a copper deficiency due to zinc supplements. Definitely do some research, they aren't as universally healthy as people think. I tried taking multivitamins after taking a several-year break. I slowly began experiencing constipation. It took about 4 days of taking half a serving a day to completely block my colon and feeling like I was giving birth on my lunch break. Stopped the vitamins immediately and poop went back to normal. This literally happened to my daughter a few weeks ago. She switched to a different vitamin and no heartburn. No idea why that one in particular bothered her. Considering that unless you have a vitamin deficiency, you don't need a multivitamin, yeah, it was a waste. All the extra vitamins were simply excreted from your body, usually in your pee.